Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we are covering Pricebook Advanced. This webinar will cover some Pricebook options that you have, how to add items to your Pricebook from an invoice in case you don't have a Pricebook and you want to build that as you go. We'll look at how to leverage the QuickBooks item list, create flat rate products with our bundle feature. We'll take a look at Profit Rhino, the flat rate Pricebook add-on subscription, and Pricebook Digital. And then we will get into updating your pricing strategies, some invoice options that you have, and some job form settings to make sure things look and feel how you want when you finally create those and send them to your customer. We'll do a live Q&A at the end where you can get your questions answered live on stream. And let's go ahead and dive into WEX FSM. So I did not know this for a little while when I started working here. This is kind of a pro tip. And maybe you don't know this yet, and we will all be enlightened, and we can now use this feature. When you're on an invoice, you can click Add Item and go to your Pricebook folders. And when you're on here, if you scroll to the bottom, there's a button that says Add New Product. When you click on this, this allows you to create a new product in your Pricebook as if you were making it from the My Pricebook page. So usually you would go to More Applications, Pricebook, My Pricebook, click Add Product. Also, welcome Katrina. And then build out your Pricebook from here. This is where you can build and manage your Pricebook. This is great if you've got time. Maybe you're in onboarding, you have time to build this out before you start. But if you're ready to go and hit the ground running, if building a Pricebook from scratch is the thing that's holding you back, you don't have to worry. You can actually build your Pricebook as you go. So let's say you don't have any items in your Pricebook. You get to a job, you've just started using WEX FSM, you create an invoice, you click Add Item, and there's no items in here to choose from. But you know what you need to charge. You've been doing this, running your business for years. You can just go to Pricebook folders, click Add Product, and then select what you need. Maybe for this, I know I'm doing a service, so I'm going to do labor service, type in what it is. Let's say I know that this service costs me $50 an hour. I'm going to do my 1.5 markup. We'll charge the customer $75 for this service. We're going to categorize this into my service folder. I know that this is going to go into my income job account. And then this is what this service provides. So I might be sitting in the truck doing this on the mobile app as well, filling out and creating this. And now I will hit save. That will add this to your Pricebook. So next time you want to use that, that'll be available. And then when you click done, you'll see it has now selected that. You can create multiple items at a time. Those will be all added to your Pricebook. And when you're ready, click Add Item. So now if you're doing this process, if you don't have a Pricebook, this can help you build out your Pricebook over time as you do more jobs. If you have a Pricebook, but there's an item that you notice is not in there and you'd like to add it without having to leave your invoice and go to the Pricebook page and add it there, you can just do it and add all your items to your Pricebook directly from the invoice. Now, let's also look at what other options we have. So if I click Add Item, let's talk about the QuickBooks item list. Your QuickBooks item list, if you are syncing to QuickBooks, will show up here. And this is actually the only place that you will see the QuickBooks item list. For your WEX FSM price book, you'll go to more applications, price book, my price book, and you can build out your pricing here. But for your QuickBooks item list, there's no admin page. There's no home base for that. This would be managed in QuickBooks. And if you've gone to any of our QuickBooks sessions, you would know that there are one-way sync items and two-way sync items. And a one-way sync item, you have to enter into WEX FSM first. That would be like customers, invoices, and payments. A two-way sync item you can update in QuickBooks, and that will sync up and really sync both ways, a two-way sync. Your QuickBooks item list is a two-way sync, and since there's no real place to edit, organize these items in WEX FSM, you will want to edit, update, organize your QuickBooks item list items in QuickBooks. That's probably how you've been doing it for years if you do use a QuickBooks item list, but there's no organization like you get with the WEX FSM price book. So the nice thing about the WEX FSM price book is I've got all these folders. I can really organize these the way that I want. But let's say you've been using your QuickBooks item list for years. That's what you want to use, but you would like to have this a little more organized. You can pull in QuickBooks item list items into your WEX FSM price book. To do this, we will go to More Applications, Price Book, My Price Book. And then this scenario is if you want to start using the WEX FSM price book over using the QuickBooks item list. And so what we want is to start pulling items from the QuickBooks item list into the WEX FSM price book, which will then give it the ability to organize into folders like a native item would. We will click Add Product. Select the product type. Let's say I know this will be a part that I want to pull. And then right here, it says search for existing part. I can tap into this and let's say I need I think it's a fan motor. Yep. So I just typed in fan motor and I can see right here, fan motor, all parts is the item that I want. And if you look all the way to the right, you can see the source that it's being pulled from. So I know that this is coming from my QuickBooks item list, and I will select it. It will then pull all the info from the QuickBooks item list and enter it into here. But it will maintain the same QuickBooks item name. That way, it is not going to create a duplicate. It's essentially linking it to that. Now from here, we will choose where do I want it to save. So this is a fan motor. Let's say I'll put that in my parts folder. I want this to go to my income job and then put in the description. Now you have the capability of entering the cost, having the pricing strategies applying to it, and then attaching warranties. Serialize comes in very handy if you turn on serialize. If this is something, let's say that this fan motor has a serial number, then if serialize is on, if I add this to my invoice, I'll be able to enter into a field that will populate the serial number of the unit I'm actually selling. So you will click save. That will then make a one-to-one copy, essentially, of the fan motor in your WEX FSM price book. Do that as many times as you need to get the items that you want. And then you will have the benefit of the WEX FSM Pricebook items, which is the folder organization, which you see here when you're actually creating the invoices and pulling those items. All right. Next, let's talk about custom line items. So we've got our price book. These are items that we can pull in, but there may be times where there's something that you know you need to add. You're going to charge the customer for it, but it's a very one-time, one-case thing, and you don't want it to be added to your main price book. In that case, you can add custom line item. So instead of add item, we'll click add custom line item. And the first thing your system wants to do is double check. Is this in your price book or not? And so maybe this is, custom item, and it's going to search. Do you have this? If you do, you'll select it and it'll just add it. So it's like, oh, I forgot I already have this. But if not, then you will select create custom line item as entered. And now we're just making a unique product just for this invoice. So realize that is something to know. If you're adding a bunch of custom line items and you think they're being added to your price book, that is incorrect. This is a one-time use item. We don't have it in our price book, and we can just add this. So here's our custom item. I know this is $12 and quantity of 1. And then apply tax. Let's say no taxes for this and add. And there you have it. We got a custom item that we've added here. And something important about this as well. So if you add a custom line item and you're syncing to QuickBooks, if you don't select an income account, like right now, this is empty. When this goes to sync, it's not going to know where to send the revenue for this custom item, and it won't sync. And you will see a sync error on the invoice list page. So if you're going to use custom items, whether you're going to make them or other members are on your team are going to make them, everyone has to know. Make sure you select an income account. That way, when this goes to sync, it knows where to sync to. There's many times I've seen that. You're in the office, you go to the jobs invoice list, and then you just want to double check, make sure that everything is syncing properly. So you go to the invoice sync status not ready. And then you see the errors. And these may have come from your technicians not knowing to to select the income account. So you can turn off the ability to make custom items in user preferences if you want to, or just prep your team. Let them know if you're going to make a custom item, always select the income account. That way you can avoid having some errors when syncing. All right. Let me check my notes here. We did that. Yep. Okay. And now let's go to creating flat rate products in your price book through bundles. So we're going to go to more applications, price book, my price book, and we're going to go to add product, select the product type, product bundle multi-item group. And what this is going to do is allow you to select your parts, select your labor, and create a bundle. So if you do flat rate pricing, your time, your materials are included in the service you're providing. This is a great way to do that. Now, as we mentioned in the basics course earlier today, you do need to have items already in your system to then pull them into the bundle. If you don't, you can just add them right from here by clicking Add New Part. That will add the parts that you need into your price book. You will see those later. Those will be permanently added. And then you select what you want. So from here, let's say that I just need these 3 parts. Then I can go and choose my labor. Maybe I want this one. I have my parts. I have my labor. I will now create product bundle. From here, you can enter in the name of what this is. Put it where you want. Let's say I already have a bundles folder that this will go into. And then you can get as detailed as you want in the description. This is customer facing. And now when you put this on a proposal or invoice, it will show the name of the bundle, the description, and the price, but it won't show all of the different elements. And so now from here, I can see all the different parts that are included in this, the labor that's included in this. I can easily toggle my tax defaults on and off. I can update which income account I want each line item from the bundle to sync to. So maybe these are going to a income job account and this one's going to a labor account. Even though it's part of one product, we can still determine where that's syncing in our QuickBooks. And if you want to remove or see more info about this item, you click the drop down on the right and you can click the X to remove. And then from here, you're able to see the markup, the cost, the price, quantity, etc. Okay. And now we will hit save. And there we go. If one of the items you pulled in has an image, it'll use that image. So that's where this item image came from. All right, if we go to our bundles, here it is. If you want to delete a bundle, you can click on it and click the 3 dots in the top right and then deactivate product. Now let's say that you want to hide this for now so your technicians don't see it. You can hide it from your invoices. It'll still be in your like price book. It just won't show up when you're searching for it. Then you can unhide it when it's ready. Maybe it's something you're working on, but you don't want to deactivate it, but you also don't want your guys to grab it on accident before you're finished. So you can just hide it. For today's example, we'll go ahead and deactivate the product and deactivate. Since I deactivated it, if I would have added that to any proposal or invoice, they will still show up and sync properly and be on the invoices that I've added it to, even though it's deactivated in my price book. Next, let's have a look at Profit Rhino. So just as an example, when you're on an invoice, if I click Add Item, we'll go to the From Flat Rate Price Book. Profit Rhino is really great for saving time and making sure that your price book, like the pricing that you're offering, is always correct. And so with this, you can, well, I guess let me explain this first. You will have your normal subscription with WEX FSM. And if you don't already have Profit Rhino, you can add Profit Rhino. It is an add-on to your subscription, but if it's worth it to you, it is really great. This is going to add in a full catalog with names, model numbers, descriptions, pictures of flat rate pricing. Then the pricing that's inset is from Profit Rhino, who knows the industry, knows your region, and it's going to add the pricing for you. And then you are able to go in and update your individual costs. And we're seeing two prices here. You'll be able to set, and you can set tiered markups for this as well, to give you a residential price and a commercial price. And you can see both of those prices at a glance from here. And you will be able to have access to this flat rates folder, which, if you just do HVAC, you may just have an HVAC folder. If you do HVAC and plumbing, or HVAC and electrical, these are each individual price books, all with items for those industries. And when you click in, it's beautiful. It's got pictures for everything. When you select something, let's say I want to go to a dual start cap, add item, it comes in already pre-filled out with the item name, description, pricing, etc. If you are interested in signing up for Profit Rhino, you can go to settings, subscriptions, and additional products. From here, you'll click on if you don't have it already, you can click the red plus button. That will then walk you through the sign up process. Once that's added, for those of you who have Profit Rhino already, you can click on edit subscription. And this will allow you to now pick which price books you want to have included. Maybe you don't need electrical, so you get rid of that one. And then you can choose your hourly cost and hourly rate for both commercial and residential pricing per trade. This comes in handy if you notice that the pricing of your flat rate Profit Rhino prices are not correct. Maybe just across the board, it's too high. It's charging more for all items. You just notice it's too high. You can come in here, lower the cost, lower the rate. That will lower the pricing of your entire Profit Rhino flat rate price book. So you do have a little control on the pricing here. You can also select exactly where you want the revenue for these flat rate items to go. And these are all defaults that you would set from here. You can also go to more applications, price book, flat rate price book. And this is where you will see, just like the WEX FSM price book, you will be able to click the drop down and see what items are in these folders. If I click on the little number here, that will allow me to actually dive deeper into these products. You can edit the details. You can mark as favorite from here. And when you edit details, this will then allow you to update a few things about these products. And if it's a part, let's go back. Let's go HVAC, blower motor. Let's try this. If it's a part that has a cost, we also have editable costs here. So if there's an item that you notice, like the profit and loss is not correct, I would come here and just make sure that the cost you pay is correct for these items. But you can update the costs from this page. Okay. And then that is Profit Rhino. Let's also now talk a little bit about Pricebook Digital. So this is not on the subscriptions page. This is usually you are hearing about this from a sales representative. This is something newer that we have just released. But if you go to the Help Center, there's a little smiley face guy right here, and you click on Help, you can look for Pricebook Digital. And this is what we're looking for: enhanced price books powered by Pricebook Digital. That will bring you to, oh, actually, you know what? A little pro tip as well. So if you click on an article, any article that you have in this little pop-up here, you can scroll to the bottom, and every single one of our articles has a link like this that says open in Help Center. That will then open it nice and big. So, sometimes reading that little screen gets annoying. So if you want, you can just open it in a new tab, and here it is. You can also bookmark this if you want. And Pricebook Digital is a little different. So Profit Rhino is a flat rate price book. That means it's flat rate items you're going to add to your price book. Enhanced Price Books by Pricebook Digital is different in that, yes, you will get pricing that will be entered into your system that you'll be able to use, like Pricebook items. It's going to give you entire catalogs, but this is from your suppliers. So after you go through and you sign up for this, we determine what your closest distributor is, and then we get the pricing from your distributor in your area. So you know that it's actual prices of the places when you put in a purchase order to order a part. Those prices are reflected exactly from the places you are buying those items from. You can watch this video, a nice deep dive into how this works. But essentially, once you have signed up for this add-on subscription, you will get price books, which will be folders that will have items, descriptions similar to Profit Rhino, but it doesn't have to be flat rate pricing. This will be just what you purchase from your supplier and entered into your price book. And you will also get templates, and this is huge. Let's go and we're going to search for the word template. And if you have enhanced price books, you will also have templates. So let's go to the Wilson Supply templates. This is something that is just included in that bundle. And then if we go into one of these jobs, each of these jobs will then have fully built out system bundles that you can copy for future jobs. And these are fully built out with names, descriptions, model numbers, pictures, and this can save you a ton of time from manual entry. And it's pulled literally exactly from the items you know you're purchasing already. And when these prices update from the distributor, they will update in your system, in your price book, and update all of your templates. So for you, you're just going to copy these, use these for your customers, and you know the pricing is always correct. If you are interested in that, you will need to reach out to customer care. So you will go to the help center, contact support, and just let them know you are interested in enhanced price books by Pricebook Digital. Okay. Now let's go to updating your pricing strategies. Go to more applications, price book, pricing defaults. Now we did go over this a little bit in the beginner course, but for the advanced course, just in general as an overview, this is the page where you set up the different pricing strategies that you would use in your day-to-day selling selling through invoices on your jobs. The standard price is going to be the base price, the foundational pricing that all items will have by default, all parts at least. The maintenance plan price will apply to your maintenance plan customers, and this is something that auto applies. These are modifiers that you are able to adjust and make them whatever you want. And right now I've got a friends and family discount, I've got a military discount, and I have an upcharge for after hours. Some other use cases for this, maybe if someone is going to pay with a credit or debit card, we're going to process that, and then that will accrue a 3% processing fee, which, if I run the business, I would have to pay that because I'm using WEX FSM to do my processing. That's just part of the gig. There's going to be a processing fee, but I can have my customer pay that fee if I want to make one of these. Maybe this is, card transaction. And then if, let's say that is going to add 3%. I would come down, save. Now, this is important. A key part of this, it says it right here in this big yellow notification. Any changes made below to the pricing default section will take effect when creating new products in the price book. Existing products in the price book will remain unchanged and need to be updated manually. So since right now, if I click save and I add any previous items that I already had, I won't be able to apply this new card transaction. It won't recognize it. Any new items I add to the price book, it will apply this. So you're basically maintaining the historical record of pricing on your previous items. If you want this new pricing to apply to all of your items, you'll need to reach out to customer support, go to the help center, contact support, and just let them know, hey, I actually just added a card transaction fee of 3% to my pricing strategies. Can you please apply this to, all of my items? That usually takes between 24 to 48 hours. And once that happens, then any update that I make or any previous item that I add to my invoices will take on the new pricing here. And a scenario for this, now this is something that's manual. This doesn't happen automatically, but let's say I create a proposal for my customer and I will give them two proposals. One if they pay with cash and one if they pay with card. If they pay with card, let's say I'll, preemptively let them know there'll be a 3%, and then you would just apply the card transaction pricing strategy. It will add that 3%, and then that will be seen on the invoice, and then your customer pays the invoice. So those are just some scenarios to get the brain storming, the juices flowing on how you might want to add your own, but you just change the name to what you want, and it's a way to add either a percent increase or a percent decrease in price. All right, moving right along, let's go to how you can update some invoice options. So let's go back to an invoice. And then a couple just pro tips. I don't think we mentioned this earlier. If you go and click add item, as you're adding these items, they will be added in the order you select them. So let's say I am looking for general part, and let's choose general part 2, and then general part 3, and then general labor. They are slowly being added to my queue. And then when we add them, you'll notice they are added in the order I selected them. And then let's go back up to pricing settings. We just talked about pricing strategies. Click on pricing settings, and then you can update the pricing strategy here and update. And so you create your pricing strategies, you make sure that they're updated and applicable to the items that you want. And then this is where you update those for the invoice. All right. And let's see here. We also have recommended items. So recommended items is a great way to increase the revenue of each invoice that you have. I'm already doing a service for this person. I noticed that maybe there's a filter change that I could also do today to get a little more money, a little more bang for my buck for coming out here. And it's always great to get more revenue per job. Those really add up by the end of the year. If you're adding even one recommended item per job, you will notice exponential growth in your gross revenue by the end of the year. But if you don't know how to add a recommended item, that may be deterring you or your field technicians from adding them. So let's look at how to do that easily here. I'm on an invoice. I know that this is what we're charging today for the job I've already done, but I was in the back and I did notice, you could use a filter replacement. I went ahead and removed it for you. Look how dirty this thing is. It hasn't been cleaned in years. Why don't we go ahead and for 20 bucks, we'll get this switched out for you today. If I am showing this to my customer, I will want, and actually this already had a filter on it. I'll want to show this. I'll want a way to kind of, when I'm breaking this down to the customer, I want to show the recommended item. On the invoice, click recommend. Add recommended item. And now we're just picking from our price book. So maybe I already know I want a filter, so I'll just type in filter. And then right here, we'll add the Honeywell filter. And now it's in the recommendations section. If I want to, let's say the customer says, yes, let's go ahead and do it. I can click the thumbs up and it will put it up in the product section. And if I want it to go back down, I just click move to recommendations. It's a little down arrow with a circle around it. When you show this to the customer, if we go to present mode, it's separated. So, we would be explaining this to the customer. Today's total is going to be $487.99. We went ahead and, did the service for you. However, if you want for $16.20, we'll go ahead and do the replacement. Does that sound good? They say yes. Click the thumbs up, and we just made an extra $16.20 for today. And that is how recommended items works. Okay. Last thing we're going to go over before we get into our Q&A is setting your job preferences. Now, let's see if I can show you a little better idea here. Let me see if I can get everything on. Oh, this setting is not available on progress invoices. Okay. For what I want to show you, we'll just hop to another job. And we'll use this one. Okay. And we're going to make a new invoice. And then let's add some items. And we'll just do a couple general. There we go. So on my end, I can see the unit price. Do any of these have a model number? If they had a model number, I'd be able to see the model number. There's a lot of things that I'm seeing here. And when I go to present, we can see the unit prices. We can see the quantity. There's a lot of info here. If I wanted to hide these, I'd go back to build, go to pricing settings, And I can hide the maintenance plan pricing. I can hide the unit prices, and I can hide line item quantities and prices. And then click update. So now those have updated. And when I go to present, no, look at this. Nothing over here. It's just here's the name, the description, and they see a final total price. So if you don't want all the extra information on here, you can hide those individually per invoice. Oh, let's go back to build from pricing settings. However, maybe you don't want to have to hide these things every single time you make a job form. You can set your defaults of what you want hidden and what you want shown by going to settings, jobs, job preferences. And the job preferences page, this is where you can, under the job forms section, determine what information from those items you're pulling in from your price book, what do you want those to show by default when you click present mode. Do you want to show the location name, model number, unit prices, maintenance plan savings, billing address, product number, line item amounts, and quantities? This is up to you. Select the ones you want. Maybe I don't want to show the model number, so I'll turn that off and click save. And then next time I make a invoice and add items from my price book, it will hide the things based on my preferences here. And you know what? A bonus tip that I'm going to throw in is when you send a proposal or invoice to your customer, they will receive a PDF, but there's also a message that goes along with that. And, you know, how do we, number one, how do I know what that message says? And number two, how do I edit that messaging? You can customize the messaging that goes out with basically any notification that comes out of your system. You can edit those. And you do this by going to settings, call in notifications, and we have two pages that you can update this on. Email notifications for emails, text notifications for text. It is unique, so if you change one and you want it on the other, you need to go to the other page and change it. So there are two separate pages for email and text messaging. We'll use email notifications for today's example. And look right here, invoice, proposal, proposal comparison. If I send an invoice out to my customer, this is what it will say. You know, hello, customer first name. Personalized message, you will actually be able to fill out in the moment in the invoice notes. That's what this personalized message is. There's a, when you hit send, actually, I think I can just show you. So if I go down and let's say I want to send this invoice to my customer, I'm going to hit send and we'll get a little box. And then right here, would you like to include a personalized message to this customer? You add your message here, you know, thanks for your business and send. It'll say, hello, you know, thanks for your business or whatever message. Please click below to review your invoice. And we have in here what are called smart fields. And these fields will pull data from your customer to personalize this message for them. So your customer's name is John. Hi, John. Thanks for your business. Please take a look at this. Click below. Here's the invoice number, the amount, the remaining balance, and the invoice button will take them to the PDF. And then from here, they'll be able to review and sign and make a payment online. But maybe you have very specific branding. Maybe you have a very specific way you would like this to look. Update and customize each message for invoices, proposals, and comparisons right from here. Okay, That's all the information we have for today's presentation. I hope you guys learned something. We're going to move to our Q&A now. But before we go, I just want to say thanks so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Pricebook Advanced.